Make the ground shake.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Kyle the Pug podcast, episode number 10, and we have a huge problem on this show where we record all the even episode numbers on Monday, and then all the odd episode numbers are on Sunday. Kyle the Pug, what are you doing? Seriously. I even ask myself that every time we record. But anyways, this is episode number 10 of the Reboot. And if you guys don't know who I am, I'm Kyle the Pug, and as always, Penguinator's here. Matt Man, both, obviously you guys heard Penguinator like talking about his story like 5 minutes into the podcast before we even got to the intro. But Penguin, say hello again, everybody watching.
The sheriff is a pong.
You're just stuck on the Blazing Saddles part. My God. Oh man, but anyways, yeah. What's going on with you, man? How you doing?
Not much. Just work, and of course days I'm off can't really do much because not much is open.
Oh yeah, just
actually,
like
our
deciding.
state has started to reopen, so.
Okay, we'll get to that here in a little bit, but I want to discuss like right before when the podcast started. I mean, maybe it might have like kind of snuck it in there, but your family cannot decide on what to do for dinner, like staying in, staying out. You went downstairs before the podcast started, and then all of a sudden just like what happened, man?
So before even you sent me an invite, my mom calls me, said, "What do you want to do for dinner?" And I said, "It doesn't matter if we stay or we go out, just let me know what you and my brother decide." She said, "Okay, when he gets home, we'll talk." So my brother takes his sweet-ass time when he gets home, getting his kayak out of the back of the truck and everything else. So finally, I had enough, and I went down and asked him. So he came into my mom's room, and we're sitting there talking, and literally, it's, "Well, what do you want?"
No,
I
what
don't
do you
care.
want? What do you want?
Just tell me if we're eating at home or if we're going out, so I can tell my friends that are waiting on me what we're doing. So then my brother says, "Well, Mom, what do you want?" And she goes through her small list of like, "I really don't want much. I can just go for chicken nuggets." I said, "Is that a hint for McDonald's? I mean, quit being vague."
Don't go to McDonald's. That's
And
bad.
then finally, my brother was like, "What do you want?" And she said, "Well, I can eat here." So my brother gets frustrated, and I said, "What do you want?" He said, "Well, I can eat here." I said, "Good. Conversation is we're all eating at home. Bye." Now I went right back upstairs.
You're like just, in other words, you just told him to, yeah, in a nicer way.
I was like, it's literally, and once a month we have this same argument. I just get fed up with them.
Just be grateful
like,
it's
right,
once a month. I was gonna say, just be grateful it's only once a month instead of just like 2 or 3 times a week.
Once a month for a 30-minute time, my whole family shares the same stinking period.
Oh my God! But yeah, like I said, usually, especially with this pandemic going around, like we were discussing, you were mentioning stage 1 and 2. Like, what's your state been like lately? Like you were just mentioning about stage 2. So I want some details, man.
Several restaurants have decided that they will allow indoor dining for you, allow you to like come in and eat, and some are still just doing takeout until they officially fully reopen everything. But majority of stores are opening back up, and even the barbershops are opening back up, but they're still doing the you need please wear a mask if you don't have one. We have disposables, yada yada yada. And there's a few others, but my problem, and this is where Kyle's probably rolling his eyes, like, "Oh great, here it comes."
Here it comes.
But
yep. You already called it.
This is my problem. The masks that they have and give out are the disposables that don't do shit. It's not the N95 mask. It's not like the super keep you from catching anything or spreading anything. It's the cheap ass shit that's disposable that doesn't do anything. And I went to a store one time, and it was one of the times when somebody like, "Well, don't you need to wear a mask?" They have to. I said, "No." I told them, "You need to understand, unless the mask is an N95 or higher grade surgical mask, it doesn't do shit." It doesn't keep you from getting it. It doesn't keep you from spreading it. All it does is help minimize a bit of what comes out of your mouth when you talk or cough. That's all it does.
That's
Other
it.
than that, it will not keep you from spreading it. It has to be N95 or higher. Those disposables don't do a damn thing. And second, why is the store telling me to wear a disposable mask in a store and stay 6 feet away in the store when they don't wipe down anything that anybody touches?
I mean, that's where you get, what do you call that? What do you call the Lysol? I think that's what it is, Lysol, right?
Yeah.
That's where they gotta have
They don't Lysol the clothes, they don't Lysol like the videos, the electronics, nothing. But stay 6 feet apart. And they also don't Lysol the cash registers.
That doesn't shock me at all whatsoever.
So, fast forward past that time.
Just fast forward.
My brother, he's like, hey, do you mind going to Lowe's Home Improvement with me? Sure. So we go to Lowe's Home Improvement up in, I don't want to say the area because then people figure out where I live, but it's about 30 minutes from us.
Okay.
So we go in, and I found what I need. He found some of what he needed. So we go to check out, and they have all these little blue squares, 6 feet apart, 6 feet apart. I'm like,
well, that's everywhere.
So, just wait, this one gets better.
Oh.
So you see everybody in the store wearing masks, they're wearing gloves and all this crap. And so I wait for the 2 or 3 people in front of me, and I'm just watching the register.
Mm-hmm.
After each person pays with a credit card or pays with money, puts their stuff on the table and everything, they never wiped it down.
I mean,
So
that's pretty much California, like sometimes in a nutshell.
Oh, that's my state no matter what.
Well, yeah.
So I get up there, I pay for my stuff, and she says, well, do you have any questions for you? And I said, oh, I got a question. And I asked the same thing I asked at the other store. I was like, why do you have the squares for 6 feet apart? All of y'all are wearing masks and gloves, and you're asking guests if they feel like it to wear the mask and so on for distancing, whatever, but you don't wipe down the damn counter after everybody uses the pay system.
And then she's probably thinking like, I don't know.
My answer in a nice way, I guess you could say, was them shoving me out the door.
Oh, so they just kicked you out. That's the, okay.
It was, sir, you have a nice day. And she, like, spoke it real loud, and, like, the manager's turned and looked at me and kind of nodded, like, get out. I was like, what? Because I just proved your whole system's stupid? You're kicking me out of the store?
Yeah,
like,
that's
okay.
just like, okay, bye! It wasn't like the cricket commercials, except it would be a little bit more mean, like, okay, bye!
Yeah, but I mean, it was like, all I did was ask a legitimate question. If you don't wipe anything down, what's the point of social distancing and staying away from each other? Because they're going to get it anyway.
I mean, I'll tell you this right now. It's either their policy or you get kicked out. It's like no way around it. If somebody tries to speak up, then it's just like, we're not going to allow your opinion to be voiced here. You're getting kicked out no matter what. It's like I wouldn't say what's the word I'm looking for. It's more of a it's like more of an elementary, well, that too, but it's like you got to like follow elementary school rules basically.
Well, see,
but like way worse.
For anybody watching, I did it the smart way. I bought my stuff first, then I ran my mouth.
Yeah, buy your stuff before you say anything. That's actually a good point.
But I talked to a buddy because he used to work at Lowe's Home Improvement, and like kind of like what you're saying. He said the thing is, if a manager goes through with a step like what's going on right now, even though the governor's saying to do it, they don't want you shooting holes in what is making them feel safe. I was like, I wasn't shooting holes in it. I was just saying part of what you're supposed to be doing is sanitizing after each individual comes through the line, and they're not doing it.
So it needs to be a little bit more responsible. Just a teensy bit. Just a little bit more responsible.
And they didn't like me calling out on it. Is what it pulled down to.
Alright, well, anyways, what I've been up to as of lately, if you guys didn't see it on Twitter, let me show this right here. I got me a new recording microphone. So look at this bad boy. It's a Mayona, I think it's mono. I think it's a mono. Yeah, I think that's the company's name. It's a mono USB podcast microphone, which I got, and this cost me around like $60, somewhere around there. But this bad boy, I did some tests with this microphone. This is very, very godly. I love this microphone. Like, I can't wait to use this on Discord chat, recording stuff on YouTube, all that jazz. This microphone is legit the realest of it. It literally looks like a radio podcast microphone. It works so well. Here, let me just put this back over here. So, yeah.
Drops it.
Nah, that won't be happening anytime soon. But I love the microphone to death. It's one of a kind. It's like, I was originally gonna get like a snowball, but I saw they were like, oh, we'll let you know once they're like restocked. I guess they were sold out. So I saw the next best thing in line, and this microphone was right next to it. So it was like right around the same price, but it was a lot better than the snowball. At least to me, a lot better than the snowball. So I bought it through Amazon Prime, and I got it within 2 days. So I am extremely happy with that. So I am not complaining whatsoever. So
Not yet.
but once you hear me like in Discord chat, you're gonna be thinking, oh my god, this microphone's clean. I love it. So maybe we'll do like a test thing like sometime later on, and we'll definitely you'll definitely hear my new microphone. I mean, I wish I could use it on this podcast if I had a working Elgato, but yeah, my Elgato struggles continue. I'll just leave it out there. Everybody knows about that. So unfortunately, no, it's nothing bad with it. It's just there's a couple people that told me to go, like, they gave me like 2 different options. Yeah, 2 options from like 2 different people. Like, one of them is to like return the Elgato HD60S to get a just a regular Elgato HD, like HD60 without the S, and then the other option was to save up just to build a PC, which like I said, both are super expensive, which I can't really do much with it right now because like I said, I just paid for a phone bill today, so I got to do in real life stuff. So I mean, like I said, some of it's kind of holding me back, but I'm not really too worried about it, honestly. Like, at the moment, like, I got other things ahead of me I got to work on, but like I said, I mean, once everything's put into place, time will tell. Because Matt's in the chat, he's like, I will help you with it, mark my words, LOL. I appreciate that, Matt, but like I said, happy I got the microphone. I'm positive vibes with this mic. Super duper. Like I said, you guys are going to hear it later on. You're going to be like, damn, this guy sounds like a professional. Instead of just using this Astro 840's microphone I'm using. I mean, like I said, the headset's nice. I know the microphone's a little bit. It's more of a PS4 talking mic than anything else. But like I said, I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled to have this mic and all that other jazz. But anyways, games-wise, Penguin, what you been playing?
Mostly back and forth between Pokemon and a couple of the Black Ops, Dead by Daylight, Friday 13th.
Ooh, yeah,
Legends.
you're going everywhere. Yeah, Pokemon DLC is less than a month though, so you'll be getting ready for that.
I got a shiny Mewtwo.
Oh, did you? Oh boy, he actually got one. He did it, boys.
Buddy, he was like, "Hey, do you want a shiny Mewtwo?" I was like, "Yes." He's like, "Good, set up a link trade."
Just set it up, just like bam, just like that.
So I got me a shiny Mewtwo.
Well, there you go. You satisfied, but games wise, been a little bit on Pokemon. I actually be training another team on Pokemon. I actually am doing I'm partaking in a Discord 2v2 doubles multi-battle. I don't know how that's gonna work though, but yeah, it's this weekend. A buddy of mine's Discord. We're actually gonna be battling some Pokemans this weekend. I do need a partner though, like really good at competitive battles though. So
what this coming weekend?
Yeah, this upcoming weekend.
Oh, I'm off, so I mean maybe I could help.
Oh, all right. We'll have to take a look at that then, or maybe somebody hits me up. Who knows? But A little bit of Animal Crossing, not too much. I mean, it's not as bad as it was before. Like I was mentioning, like I would say a week ago, like or maybe like a few weeks ago. But like I said, I only check to check villagers, give them stuff, send stuff to friends, all that. Just the usual BS.
There you go.
But but that's. I think for the PSN side, though, like I said, I've been playing a little bit BO3. We tried to do the Rise and Draka Easter egg, but apparently Ice glitched that out. It was, I think it was Thursday. Yeah, I think we tried to do it Thursday, but then
Thursday.
we're gonna do it again tomorrow. I'm just gonna throw that out there. Yeah, so we'll definitely try to do that tomorrow. Hopefully, no idolize this time. Get everybody together, and then we'll do that on stream. So there you go. That's for tomorrow's stream. So you heard it first on the Twitch side. So I think other than that, I haven't really been doing much apart from games. Oh yeah, and actually, I did play a Splatoon. Did the Splatfest over the weekend. So we'll discuss about. It was fun. I had a lot of fun though over the weekend with some boys on the PSBG Discord side. We were boys and lady, I should say. So I can't exclude the lady on that one. But anyway, so yeah, that's pretty much all I did for the weekend. Matt's there. Matt's all
So,
I'm not
Matt,
going to be there.
What did you
do? Yeah, Matt. So what did you do since we were waiting on you to? I know you'll be. I guess you'll be coming in here soon. So as soon as he gets on. So
You better.
so yeah, apart from those games, yeah, Team Ketchup did win, by the way. That was like the 2 out of 3. I guess it was a 2 out. I forgot what it was though that decided the voting. It was like normal, pro, and then I guess the popularity. It was something like that. I gotta go back and look, but I will definitely put more research into it like a little bit later on. But yeah, I had fun though. Everybody, Saturday night, had fun. So, if you're not following PSPG on Twitch, I recommend go doing that. Exactly, Matt. But yeah, like I said, that's all I've been doing for games-wise. Like I said, nothing really too out of the ordinary. But I want to know how you guys are doing. I hope you guys are having a good Monday. I know it's the beginning of the week, and as I mentioned, episode number 10 of the podcast. Like I said, even numbers are always going to... not always, but there's a tendency of all the even numbers are recorded on Monday, and then we have Sundays, we have the odd number episodes. So maybe we might be recording on Sunday. Who knows? But, how much long we record? Okay, 25 minutes almost. Good God. Between Penguin's long story at the beginning and then my intro and what we've been up to. Oh my God. But on that note, yeah, we got plenty of time to talk about what's going on here. So we got to get to some news here real quick. So first of all, I want to talk about this upcoming week for PlayStation. Yeah, PlayStation. We got some exciting news there. So they have announced that a state of play is focused solely on The Last of Us Part 2. That will be taking place this week on the 27th, so the day after tomorrow. And the showcase is going to be 1 p.m. Pacific time, so it'll be 4 p.m. Eastern time for those on the East Coast. So they're going to reveal that the Last of Us 2 will walk you through the details of the gameplay experience and the story. So, if you are not huge on spoilers, I wouldn't recommend watching this, but if you don't care about spoilers, as we mentioned many times throughout the show, you can definitely, watch it to your heart's content, watch how the story, get the feel and the gist for it, It's gonna be, like I said, it's gonna be quite the interesting state of. I might check it out, though. I don't know. Personally, I might check it out. Maybe if there's an on-demand version. I don't know how long the state of play will be. I don't have an estimate on that, but if it's if I'm not able to watch it live, I'll probably definitely be checking it out though, because that game is gonna get so hyped up, and I'll bet you millions and millions of people will be watching through YouTube chat, Twitch chat, and if I was watching one of those events live, I just have to mute the chat. Because in my situations when I watch like stuff for the first time, I immediately take it off so that way my stream doesn't lag. So I don't know about you guys with that, but
I might not watch it just because it's one of those games where I kind of like been waiting for it, and the same token, I don't want anything to spoil surprises that might appear in the first like bits of it. So it's one of those where I'm torn. Like I want to watch it, but yet I don't want to watch it.
Yeah, you're like you have like you're on the fence between like watching it, not watching it, and then you got all these people in the chat, on Twitter, on social media, everywhere. They're just gonna say, "Oh my God, look at this! You should see this like on Twitter, and you should see that, and blah blah blah." And then that's where you mute everything on social media. I'm like it's the same thing like we were mentioning like with movies a while back. Like if I wanted to mute a certain word on Twitter, I would just mute it and not worry about it until like the game comes out, or unless I buy it and then I download it and then bam, I would have that ready to go, you know?
Yeah, I'd just say like for me it depends on what the movie is, because there's some movies I don't care, and there's other movies that like don't say a word to me.
Yeah, and it's not just with movies, though. We got, like, big popular games, though, too. And then, obviously, there's going to be, like, those big-name YouTubers are going to be, you know, getting their hands on it. Like, of course, like, you know who the Rad Brad is, right?
Yeah.
I think everybody, yeah, because he gets games, like, I don't know, like, 2 days early prior to the release, so he's a big-time popular YouTuber. He's got to do it no matter what, though, so... And this is the same thing with every single game he's played, so... Basically, the king of the walkthroughs. That's basically his name. His new nickname.
Yep. I was gonna say, you have certain bigger YouTubers that they're always offered the games first, and then you have some that aren't. Which, the ones, sometimes, like, you'll have games that they'll send to the bigger YouTubers, and it'll be a game, I forgot which one it was, because they did it with Noah J456, and they sent him a game like, here, you know, test our game and stream it, what have you. And he was like, I don't know why they sent this to me. I'm a zombies YouTuber. I was like, I don't know why you sent me this. I'm a zombies guy.
He's like, oh, but thanks for the free game, apparently. He's like, oh, thank you. I'll play it now. I'll show it off and get views. And because...
It was just... Yeah, it was like a game that had nothing to do with zombies, and I was just like, I agreed with him. I was like, I don't see why you sent that to him. You should have sent somebody who plays something like that.
Yeah, like I said, as I mentioned before, I will definitely... I may check it out or I may not check it out. I don't know. But there's some people that are hyped up for the game and they actually do want to see the gameplay. I mean, that's fine. More power to them if they want to check it out because they want to get like a heads-up feel for it. Which, it'll probably be like the same because Naughty Dog's done like an excellent job with their history of games. Like, of course, you know, Uncharted, obviously this game, and... excuse me, like I said, it's... Everybody's gonna buy into the hype. It's gonna sell, like, over, I would say, like, at least, I would say 3 million copies for, like, first month. Like, hands down.
Easy.
Yeah, so that even, so even the pre-orders are just, like, going through the roof right now, too. But, yeah, so if you guys are excited for it, let me know. You guys are gonna play it. You don't want to see spoilers? YouTube side. Comment down below. Yes, below. Because this will be fourth wall break. This will be uploaded on YouTube once I get everything done and taken care of.
But Matt, what do you think about it?
Yeah, if Matt's
Matt,
still there.
Can't hear you.
Oh, we can't hear you, Matt. Oh man, but yeah. Let us know. Definitely let us know here in the comments below if you're excited for The Last of Us, or as actually they say the new lingo now, TLU or TLU P2. I never knew that lingo. I never knew that people would actually say that lingo in real life until I heard somebody say it like that Saturday night. It was nuts.
Yeah, people come up with some weird stuff.
I mean, TLU, I mean, I don't mind it. Like, as long as it's not like overkill, then it's like, yeah, I don't want to have anybody, you know, saying The Last of Us or Last of Us Part 2 like TLU, but like I said, I don't mind it personally, but that's just me. But anyways, so that's a little bit more. That's a little bit it for the PlayStation side of things. I don't know why I said a little bit more. When you smile a little more. Okay, that's from Pee-wee's Playhouse. Old reference. I don't think anybody's gonna get that reference because, like, today's generation, except for like maybe one person. When you smile a little more. Ah! All right, but anyways, going on to some Nintendo news. Penguin, this is kind of right up your alley here a little bit. So there is a rumor going around that may break people's hearts and may not break people's hearts, who knows, but Metroid Prime Trilogy may be heading to Nintendo Switch in June. And that's a big key word, is maybe, and I'll explain here right now. So, Nintendo Switch has seen several games ported to its libraries over the years, and now a new rumor suggests one of Nintendo's biggest franchises may come to the system this upcoming June, and obviously, we revealed that it's Metroid Prime Trilogy, that it will be released for the Switch on June 19th, though the post has been deleted. Best Buy had also posted and then deleted, and then a retail listing for the game for its staff-only database. So, basically, it centers, obviously, the bounty hunter, Samus Aran. You don't know who she is, but then everybody was like, oh, we didn't find out her until we played Smash Brothers 64. Yeah, but that game, and like I said, that game was kind of, and I'll be honest, I didn't find out about that until when I played Smash Brothers, also way back when. So I will admit that I am one of those people. So she battles space pirates. Yeah, Penguin knows about this, as well as her dark doppelganger. And a fourth game had been rumored to be in development, but it was canceled when a new team came on to develop the game. So the Nintendo Switch version of the trilogy has been rumored to be in development for years. So, and the original Metroid Prime trilogy was originally released on the GameCube with remastered versions coming to the Wii and the Wii U respectively. So, and if this rumor does hold up to its own weight, Nintendo Switch will continue a long-standing tradition. So, and the only games that are currently available for Nintendo Switch are Metroid and Super Metroid, which are obviously, if you're not subscribed to Nintendo Switch Online, you can't play those. But if you think this is actually true, Penguin, like I was saying, Matt's all, can you hear me now? But yeah, what do you think about this, man?
I think it's true. I just don't think it'll be in June.
Yeah, because I feel like this. To me, this kind of dropped out of the blue, honestly, like when I was checking Twitter. And it's Metroid fans, like, I'm not huge on the game personally. I have, you're actually more of a Metroid person than I am, but I think it's way, people have been like, that have liked Metroid over the years, it's like, it's way overdue. They've been waiting for a game that is, Metroid or Metroid related, just to, like, apart from, like, Nintendo Switch Online, just to have a release date, like, have, like, some sort of sign or something, It's like with the Paper Mario trailer, that the Origami King that just dropped out of nowhere. It's like, Nintendo news is just dropping out of nowhere. Like, they're not, and we'll get to the direct part of it here in a little bit, but I personally, now that I really think about it, I kind of do want to see this happen, but I don't think it's going to happen, but I'm going to set my expectations low, like many people do. Because if you set your expectations low, and all that jazz, you're probably going to expect a higher result, like, unless, like, compared to, if you're going to put your expectations really, really high just to have your hopes get shot down, just like that, and that's something you do not want to do. So, like I said, just set your expectations low. I want to, like, and again, I want to buy into the hype. Right now, it's just like, it's all rumor and hearsay and all that jazz. But, anyways, yeah, Penguin, I need you to share some insight, man.
I can say, like, I've been waiting for some stuff to be revamped. When they announced the Switch, I was like, I know they're going to revamp games from the older consoles for Nintendo and bring them to the Switch. That's a given. But with Metroid, I do believe that fans are going to want more than just a re-graphicked Metroid. You know what I mean? They're going to want a little bit extra. They're going to want something added in there, an Easter egg for a different level or something. Which I could understand because you've waited this long. But like I said, I do think it's still going to happen. I just don't think it's going to be this June or maybe even this year.
Mm-hmm. And it kind of just dawned on me though too, that even like the most diehard of Metroid fans, like literally like they were. I think that we were mentioning that the fourth Metroid. Was that it, or am I thinking of something else? I knew there was a new Metroid in development, but it got canceled because they brought a new team in to redevelop the game in a sense, or like redesign it, or. But I don't know. It's just Metroid. That franchise is so tricky, honestly. It's just the whole franchise itself with release dates. It's just it's tricky and unpredictable because you don't know what you're gonna expect from them, like from that company.
But well, the other thing is like with Metroid, the fans are super touchy, not just the release dates, because it's one of those games. Metroid has actually become known among the fans as you either did good or you sucked.
Oh yeah, 100%.
There is no in between. It's either you did good with the game or you sucked and we hate you.
Especially with the touchy part, that is so 100% correct. Like they're really dedicated to that game, and like I said, I've tried Super Metroid. I want to go back to the other Metroid because that's kind of dawned on me a little bit that I still need to continue that on my backlog. So yeah, somebody told me to go hit up like somebody to get some pro tips on how to beat the game and all that. Well, I can probably ask you how to beat it since you played Super Nintendo Metroid or the SNES Metroid or Super Metroid. Sorry, I can't think right now. Yes.
Yeah, Super Metroid. It basically, the main tip to beating that game is think strategically as you go through, and also of course you have to get every level. You have to fight a mini boss and a main boss, and each one gives you a power up. So you have to go through and find those, and you definitely will need them to help you fight Mother Brain at the end of the game. But until then, you have to strategically plan out, even for the small enemies you encounter throughout the world. You have to sit there and think, do I have the firepower to take him on right now, or do I need to go back and find something?
Yeah,
and
mostly
a lot of my friends that they started playing it and they were getting frustrated as they didn't play. They just kept trying to run through the level. I was like, you have to figure out, will your weapon destroy that enemy or not? If it won't, there's no point in you fighting him because he's just going to kill you.
But yeah, I was going to mention though, like I know this is like my first run through playing it, but I actually want to go back and like go through everything just in case like I missed something, just like upgrades, certain mini bosses. I wouldn't say it's like Mega Man, honestly, Matt, but I mean it kind of is.
So, in all honesty, like you can't miss any of the mini bosses because you have to actually go through them to get to the boss.
Yeah, but yeah, like Matt was saying though, like you were saying like it sounds like Mega Man, but I mean it may be a little bit, just like a teensy little bit, but at the same time, I think Metroid, yeah, because Metroid and Mega Man are like two completely different franchises. I mean, obviously
different franchises, or the characters are, but I think the back in the day, the people who developed it was kind of like coming out of one area. So from Japan, so I want to say like they're different franchises, but the same developers from Mega Man had something to do with Metroid, which is why if you really look at them side by side, apart from color difference, they really look almost exactly alike.
Oh yeah, that is
female,
true.
But they have arm cannons, they have the bodysuit that protects them, so it's like.
And they fight all these and they got the power upgrades. And yeah, I mean, I can say that. That definitely would make sense in a way. So, let me, because I was mentioning, like, well, not mentioning, but I was reading this, like, on, I believe it was on, Twitter, I think is what it was. Like, there's, like, a couple of Metroid games that I've read or seen. Like, somebody was mentioning that they should basically, leave like certain Super Nintendo games alone, like Metroid, like the Super Nintendo Metroid, for example. That should be just like left alone and not in an actual remake. And same with the NES Metroid too, which I want to go to our question of the night. I know it's not Super Nintendo. I mean, it's kind of Nintendo related, but we actually forgot to put our question of the night. But I guess it's kind of fitting, though. We're going to put our question of the night here on a Nintendo topic here, which obviously talking about remastered games. Actually, this is a two-parter question, so I kind of came up with. So our question of the night is, what Nintendo 64 game would you want remastered, and what Nintendo 64 game should be left as is? So I'll let you guys think about that one for a little bit. And I actually did a little bit of research, and I actually have my answer. So, I mean, I was going to say Ocarina of Time, but they already remastered that to the 3DS version. So, this is kind of like...
You mean Switch, so it doesn't really count.
Well, yeah, I know it doesn't really count. But, I think what they should leave alone is Donkey Kong 64. I think they should just leave that alone. At least that's 100%. 100% just leave that alone. That game was an underrated gem. The graphics were just by rareware. That's kind of a tongue twister to say. But I feel like, honestly, they should just leave that alone. Wind Waker Remastered is on the Wii U. They remastered that on the Wii U.
Yep.
But on the Switch, though, I would definitely play it, because this is kind of, I've said this before many times, and I'll say it again. I have never played Wind Waker. Everybody can just jump me, like, watching this video. But, yeah, I have never, ever played Wind Waker. I played a little bit of Twilight Princess, I played Ocarina of Time, and I played Majora's Mask, too, so that's like... And also I played Breath of the Wild, which I did beat. And I'm currently on Master Mode on that. That's a part of a backlog. I got a lot of games on my backlog, especially a lot of Nintendo games I gotta beat. Like, good God. But, yeah, so like I said, Donkey Kong 64 I think should be left alone. And for a game that should be remastered, oh man. I'm trying to go back on the Nintendo 64 games that I had, like way back when. I would say the original Mario Party, but I think they already did that for the 3DS, I think? They all have all the Mario Party mini games on there, but if I had to have a second choice, though... Oh, yeah, man, this is...
But I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, this is tough. This is obviously, like, a tough one. I would say... Oh, man. I'd say GoldenEye 007, which I know it got released on the Wii and the Wii U. Well, not the Wii U, but I know the Wii, especially somebody was mentioning that it got re-released on the Wii. Didn't really do well with the sales, but imagine if they had a remastered port for it on the Switch. Multiplayer-wise, people would go nuts and insane, because GoldenEye was basically Call of Duty before Call of Duty existed. I'm just going to throw that out there. But, like I said, I would love to see GoldenEye 007 remastered, especially like for the multiplayer side. What about you, Penguin? One game you want remastered, and one game you would have left alone on the Nintendo 64 side.
A definite leave alone is the Donkey Kong 64 for me as well.
Okay.
Another one this one I'm kind of torn between, because GoldenEye, to me, yeah, the graphics weren't super good, but
the popularity and the story was insane.
The storyline for the game itself, I mean, yeah, it followed the story of the movie, but for the game itself, where they had to add stuff for you to do as James Bond in the game, I think they did a very good job with, and overall, it was like probably the best first-person shooter game at the time of the 64, and it's still talked about. So adding graphics, and then plus, I think with today's systems like the aim assist
with Unreal Engine, with Unreal Engine,
yeah, I think the graphics would probably help you a little bit in like enjoying it, but same token, I think it would take away from that gem that it was. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. For the time, so I'm torn on GoldenEye.
Yeah, you are.
But one that
completely understand, man.
But one I definitely would like to see them remaster. and I know people are going to give me flack for this, but I don't care because I actually enjoyed the game. Mario Golf.
Mario Golf 64. Okay, that's solid. Okay.
I actually enjoyed that one.
Matt just joined us, so you want to chime in?
I swear.
I don't even know what part were you? I kind of tuned off before I came back on. What was this question?
People that show up late.
Yep, people that show up late get kicked. Oh, I'm joking. What Nintendo 64 game would you want remastered, and what Nintendo 64 game should be left alone as is?
Oh, Jesus.
We're making him think.
He's got to think this one over.
It hurts too much to think of.
Or just brainificate.
I mean, I can't really say Mario Kart 64 or Mario Kart, just because it has been remastered. Essentially, I mean, if you want to redo it, but just have maybe new races, I don't know. That's kind of a cop-out answer, honestly. I think. Let me get an idea. What was yours and Penguin? So I can kind of think about it for a second.
Well, mine to be left to have left alone as is Donkey Kong 64. We already touched that. And we were just discussing GoldenEye.
Oh,
GoldenEye 007.
So that's one that shouldn't be touched, you think? Just because it's a masterpiece?
Oh, yeah. Donkey Kong 64, 100%. Like, don't even, like, with Rareware. I can't believe I gotta say it, like, very, very slowly, so that way, yeah, Rareware. Yeah, Rare. But yeah, that's what we were just touching up on. Like I said, just leave that alone. Don't even.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. The leave alone with especially GoldenEye, just because that's. I mean, essentially all you'll be doing to it is basically making it another version of like a team deathmatch from Call of Duty. I mean, that was a masterpiece in itself, and no sense in redoing it. Even though they probably hearing this podcast will probably redo it, going, "Oh, that's a great idea."
Hey, that's a great, but use it with Unreal Engine graphics.
Oh, please no.
What do you think, Sans?
Yeah.
We agree.
That's awesome.
That's like every game company. We agree on all these things. Let's do it.
Yeah.
It is us and the boss. What'd the boss say? He said.
I didn't know Sans was working at Nintendo.
Apparently, he got a
I
promotion.
don't know Bowser owned Nintendo now, but okay.
We're living in weird times. Lee Ross and Jason Blundell leave zombies. Sans is working in the main house now. Weird times.
I don't think they left zombies. I honestly, for two of the top zombie brains to just up and leave Treyarch and everything, I think they were being told that maybe Call of Duty's not going to do any more zombies ever, and they're just going to stick with like the battle royale stuff as the other game mode.
Because that's going to be the new and in. Yeah, exactly. That's how I would. That's how I would feel, honestly.
They left to do their own.
Yeah, I mean, Jason left on really good terms. He really did.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he wasn't like bitter about it on Twitter. He wasn't secretly putting a Discord out there saying these guys are a bunch of jackasses. He was very professional about it.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very professional. Even not being in the last two DLCs, but yeah, that's a diversion from the question. I mean,
that's when Craig Houston took over and just like, let's. Even Ninja doesn't like him.
I think Craig focuses more on being funny than he does on actually trying to deliver good content. I mean, seriously, you notice on both the live streams, he's always trying to be funny and joke about zombies. I'm like, dude, this is some people's livelihood. Seriously, people actually made a living, some people made a channel off of this franchise, and you're basically downplaying and making jokes about it every 15 seconds. Like, bro, take it seriously.
Well, not only is he not funny, but I don't think he. He's 100%.
He tries so hard to be funny, though. It's so annoying.
It's like Mirage from Apex Legends. It's like he tries so hard, like from the video game awards. Like it's like him at the video game awards. He tried so hard to be funny, and all of a sudden it just went like way downhill. Took a massive L. But yeah, you were saying though.
I mean, in regards to the ones that you leave alone, I would definitely say a game to leave alone is GoldenEye for me. I 110% agree on that one.
Okay.
That's a really, really, really.
But yeah,
really
Penguin was torn on that too. Like, should we remaster it or should we?
Games, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
oh man,
I don't know if you caught, but the reason I said I was torn, Matt, is it was such a masterpiece at the time, and it has withstood the fan base test of time. People are still on Twitch playing that game.
Oh yeah.
But the reason I was torn is if you did the levels exactly as it was, but did updated graphics and had Pierce Brosnan actually do a voice in it.
True.
I'd be torn because you don't do like a battle royale. You don't add all this bullshit to it. You leave it as it was. You just update the graphics, and of course bring in Pierce Brosnan to do some voice for 007 and so on. If you did that, I would be okay with the remaster. But the problem is, like I was telling Kyle, whenever they remaster, they feel like they have to change shit right now.
Yeah, if they added battle royale to that, I would not play it. That would just ruin it for me.
That's what drives me crazy, is because battle royale became popular from. Actually, it started with H1Z1, and then it got really popular with Fortnite. But ever since then, it's like every game that comes out, we have battle royale. Don't give a shit.
Yeah, because like battle royale is trying to be like the new. We were talking about this like a couple weeks ago. It's the new mainstream for video games now, and especially with today's younger generation, like everybody like at their school doing like weird Fortnite dances, and yeah, that's like the new. That's the new thing now. Well, actually, then again, obviously people are not at school, obviously due to COVID-19, but that's besides the fact. But like even way before then, though, like you would see like all these kids at school, like even like middle school, high school, elementary, whatever, just start doing Fortnite dances, and you will see like even adults start doing them too. Which I mean, I don't mind. I don't mind personally.
High schools with Fortnite teams as a sport.
Yeah, that is true though. They did actually try to add, Fortnite as an esports high school thing. I don't remember where it was from, but
there was a school that started it, and then several other schools tried to do it too, to actually have Fortnite teams and leagues for esports.
That's how you know this game is changing everybody.
But the thing with Fortnite is, I'm trying to understand why that one versus the others, and the only thing I came up with is the build battles.
Yeah, there's going to be, even high school kids are like just, that's all they would do though, is just, build battles, 1v1. Actually, there was some kids like stay up at like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning just to play this game, either on PC or console or whatever. People take this game seriously. Like it becomes like super super toxic. Like there's a lot of, I mean, I'm not saying like every community's like toxic. I mean, there's some good people out there that they're like really professional about it, but I think between the most toxic communities, to me, I think Fortnite's definitely up there for sure. Overwatch, obviously, also top 3. And I've been hearing Rainbow Six Siege is another toxic community too. That would be like personally my top 3s, but Call of Duty is probably top 5 for me. I think Rainbow Six Siege beats it out.
Yeah.
And then Fortnite and Overwatch are like number 2 and number 1, respectively.
I think one of the games that it comes off of the top of my head that I can think of is I think it was originally was it released on the Cube? I think it was really released on the GameCube. But it wasn't where it originally started. Was Star Wars Rogue Squadron?
Ooh!
I think that if that was re-released, like kind of like a remake in a sense. I mean, EA kind of learned their lesson the hard way. They re-released it on GameCube once, and it's since been forgotten.
Mm-hmm.
But that was a pretty fun game, because anybody who really played it will tell you that this was some of the best like vehicular gameplay in a video game.
I think the GameCube had a sequel. I thought.
Yeah, theirs kind of fell flat.
Yeah, I think the sequel did fall flat, but the original actually did take off though.
Yeah, like if they remastered that particular one, I would love that. I'd play that.
I think that they're supposed to be later this year coming out with Star Wars Pod Racer.
Oh, Pod Racer for Nintendo Switch. Yeah, that's gonna be. We were just speaking of Star Wars games. Yeah, I forgot that was gonna be on there.
Yeah, Old Republic games, Pod Racing, Battlefront. There've been a few in the 2000s.
Battlefront, though, kind of is one of those things, like, once it hit, it fizzled out really, really quick. But I think what hurt Battlefront 2 is the Battle Royale games are kind of like king of the crop right now. Mm-hmm. So nobody really cared, because I really think people are getting Battle Royale'd out. I really do.
I hope so. I mean, I'm not saying that just to say like, oh, I'm all pro, battle royale or con. I mean, I'm just sick of it in general. Like, I am not. Yeah. I mean, I'll have my moments in battle royale games. I'll play them just like, just have fun with friends and all that. But to me, battle royale games are just not my cup of tea.
I'm kind of at the point where I'm a troller on battle royale games now.
I know this firsthand. Believe me.
So, for anybody who doesn't know, as Kyle does, because he's watched me do it just to annoy people, is instead of actually playing to win, I will play to annoy the shit out of somebody. Like, what was that? Was it Fortnite I was playing?
I think it was. We were doing duos, and
I purposely
I remember this too.
I think you got killed, and I was like, all right, it's time just to be an annoying little shit. And so I hid, and I would have a silenced pistol, and I would pop them, and you'd see them shoot at trees, and they couldn't find me. And then I would sneak up, because I was wearing the bush, and I go pop, and then you see them freaking out again. And I followed them the whole game.
Didn't you, like, silent snipe somebody, like, off their bridge, too? And then they just went tumbling. I think it was the same person twice he did this to, too.
He got tired of me shooting him, so he went up and built a platform to try and find me. And I was the bush, so I was covered, and I'd snuck underneath it where he couldn't see me, and I shot it with the silent sniper, which took it out one shot, and then I turned, and then Kyle's like, what are you going to do? I said, watch, and I waved at him as he fell.
He's like, hi!
And I guarantee he's like, that son of a...
You son of a... Oh, man. All the moments we have on 4. I mean, maybe one day I might try to play it again. Like, same with H1 and maybe some PUBG. Possibly, I know PUBG's on PS4. But maybe one day I'll try to play a little bit of PUBG. Maybe some Apex. I know Ice was trying to get me back on Apex, but... I wouldn't mind playing Apex every now and then. Like, I would have to re-download.
I still got to give Ice my friend code for Switch. She keeps getting mad.
Yikes. That's a big... that's an oof.
Hey, Penguin.
Uh-oh.
Do you see one of the sources from MCU is saying that one of the episodes is for the Disney Plus series, What If? Might be having a What If Peter Parker became Hawkeye. That series is coming pretty soon.
That series...
An interesting thing.
That series probably will take off, though, 100%.
But the problem is, though, like, I don't see Peter Parker even becoming Hawkeye in a What If universe.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's a nerd. He's not a, like, pinpoint accuracy shooter of any kind. Which that was Hawkeye's thing the whole time.
True, but then his backstory could have something to do with it. Like, if his Uncle Ben... was actually, in this particular reality, was killed the same way. Maybe he took up a liking to that back in high school. Like, he took an archery class and was legit an amazing archer. And then just events that happened to his uncle led him to want to be basically a vigilante arrow, kind of like a Green Arrow.
The one that I really want to see them do, which I don't know if they will because of the iffiness with Spider-Man and everything, is there was a comic, which it was called the What If series, but one of their issues was what if Spider-Man kept the symbiote?
Ooh. Yeah, he would be a murderer.
I was
no question. He would be a murderer.
So when they said they were coming out with this, I was like, will you do this as an episode, please?
It's like the Dark Side of the Ring, except it's the Dark Side of Marvel.
I like how he did that. Oh yeah, I said, please.
Pretty please with the strawberry on top.
Oh my gosh. That Dark Side of the Ring, Kyle, did you see that most recent episode?
Oh, yes I did, with Owen Hart.
Gosh,
I did.
Damn, that was just absolutely depressing. Jeez.
Yeah, with all the with the widow trying to sue McMahon for thinking it was a murder.
Just seeing how Vince reacted to the death of Owen Hart and how he blatantly just is like, I resent the way you're talking to me, ma'am. I'm like, what a dick! Like, I actually was thinking about boycotting WWE for like a month, seeing his reaction, because I was, as a father, I was, kind of intertwined with the fact that this lady was just broken, because it seemed like, this is the part that really floored me. I'm not going to go too much into detail with this, but the one thing that really stuck out to me that I could not fathom is the fact that a part of that episode was mentioning how when this accident happened for Owen Hart, the stupidest thing that they could have done happened. They decided to let the show go on with Owen Hart's blood in the freaking ring still.
That's what kind of got me too.
Oh my god! I'm like, you guys are disgusting. You tell me instead of canceling, hell, the police should have freaking canceled the damn show. They should have said, no, stop. This man just got killed by God knows what freak accident, and then on top of that, seeing the harness that was holding him you might as well have put like a belt clip on there. That was extremely slow, and it was only meant to hold 6 pounds. 6 pounds! And I'm like, that is just blatant disregard. I could not believe that. My mind was blown.
A lot of people came up with that he was murdered.
Yeah, because it's kind of hard to argue with that.
Yeah, exactly. But
the thing literally was in place for him to die.
Oh my god! And that's sad too, because of all people, that guy is like the last person you think someone would want to murder. That guy was like a total family man, absolutely professional. Everybody had nothing but positive to say about the man. I couldn't believe it. I'm still floored about it. I don't even want to look at the highlights of WWE on Raw right now because I'm so pissed about what happened to him. Well, and I'm not even a Canadian.
Well, the thing that other people forget is it might not have been the organization, but it could have been like a crazed fan that caused it, where maybe he beat one of their favorite wrestlers. I mean, at the time, and you, Matt,
nobody knows though, except for
at
Big
the
Man.
time, how many crazed fans tried to attack other wrestlers for beating their favorite wrestler?
You bring up a good point though, Penguin, because if you remember Bret Hart's Hall of Fame induction, I think it was actually one of the WrestleMania pre-shows. He actually, while he was doing a speech, some freaking psychotic person jumped from the stands and just completely I think he just blindsided Bret Hart. Of course, he learned the hard way you don't mess with one of the boys, and just absolutely got his ass handed to him by everybody. He's lucky Braun Strowman didn't get a hold of him. He probably would have really got those hands.
Yeah, I was actually looking at I think it was right at the end of the episode here too. I actually noticed that they were asking about his son, like, should your dad like be in the Hall of Fame and like have it on us? And he said no. And I don't blame him for saying no, because why would his name be like on a plaque like in the Hall of Fame when like something like this happens, like just to have
they brought up a
even
really
when they
good
treat
point.
him like absolute garbage, which is ridiculous.
That absolutely, like, at first my initial response as a wrestling fan was to go, well, why? But then immediately it snapped my snap back to reality, going, you know what? You have a valid point. This company, we're not going to let this company honor his wrestling side, even though he's well deserving of it. We're not going to let this company honor anything with him because they blatantly disregarded his life. Basically, disregarded his life. I think, honestly, his wife brought up a really good point. If they actually responded faster and took the actual care to call the paramedics, call all the things off, focus mainly on Owen himself, he probably could have lived. Now, then again, he probably snapped his neck, which means there was no chance of him living, because some guys were saying he was completely, like, blue. Completely blue in the face. Like,
it all busted up and bloody, too.
D'Lo couldn't even freaking talk about it. He's like, as soon as he brought it up, he's like, I can't get the image back in my head. I can't.
I wouldn't either.
That's so bad. I mean, it must have been a pretty damn disgusting sight to see.
I can say, like, for a broken back situation or a broken neck situation, it depends on where it broke. If it's up near the cranial entrance, you're gone. There's nothing there. If it's only 6 inches lower, you'd be like Christopher Reeve, where you're paralyzed from the neck down, but you'd be alive. It's crazy how just 6 inches can determine life or death on a neck break in that area.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's like I said, it's the little things.
My career of responding to car wrecks and talking to paramedics, they said 6 inches. If it's right at the cranial entrance for the spine stem, there's nothing we're going to do. We're just going to mark them DOA. It's just the brain doesn't know they're dead yet. But 6 inches below, they'll be paralyzed from the neck down, but they can still live. It's weird as shit.
Yeah, like maybe like in a wheelchair or something, they wouldn't be able to walk it, even because it affects the entire body though too, even 6 inches down.
Yeah, the last one said like paralyzed from the neck down. They wouldn't be able to move their arms, anything. They'd have to like either somebody push the wheelchair or they'd literally have to use their mouth and tongue to, which they had. Mm-hmm. It's like a remote that would go in your mouth and your tongue could actually go forward or backwards to move the chair. But
I wouldn't.
6 inches can determine a lot when it comes to life or death and stuff like that.
If anything, I mean, this is just not to put light on his death or anything, but if anything, at least with that fall, his death wasn't like complete painful, like it was quick. I mean, if anyone can sit there, and I don't like thinking about my own death, honestly, but if I ever die in the near future, hopefully it's a very distant future, I would really hope it would be something
on your ex.
Yeah, something quick, like something just quick.
I forgot who the referee was they were interviewing. Who was the referee? Because I remember
Tony Schiavone, I think.
I think it was him. Yeah, because they were talking to him about it, and he just felt a little
yes,
gush of wind. Yeah, like right. I think it was like a couple of inches. I'm not sure, but he said like he felt like a gust of wind behind him a little bit, like, and then he just all of a sudden just looked up and looked away, and then all of a sudden it's like he just sees Owen Hart laying flat down on his face, not even moving, like falling like 100 feet from the air, and even
50 feet of all places. My God.
Yeah, it's somewhere around there, but
yeah.
In a way though, it's just like even you could hear Owen screaming, "No, get out of the way, get out of the way!" Because he didn't want to hurt anybody. Yeah, that just
tells what kind of man he is. He's basically falling to his death. He realizes there's nothing's gonna stop me from dying, and his last thought was, "Watch out! Watch out!"
Yeah, that's what they said on the episode. That really hit me though too.
Yes, he's such a like selfless guy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the ironic thing is that he wanted to kind of back away from the typical Hart legacy and wanted to be just a family man. He wanted to, do what he can as stay on that high pedestal as far as he can go, and then once he starts lowering, he's out. He's like, all right, Vince, I'm done. I'm going back to be my family man.
Mm-hmm. So, do you imagine if Owen Hart was actually, still alive today? Let's just say like he would have went on to the 2000, 2001, 2002, Austin heel attitude era, all that jazz, whatever you want to call that era back then. Do you think he would have been a top tier superstar? I would have said 100%.
100%.
He would have main evented. He would have main evented for sure.
Do you realize, and Kyle knows this because he watched this part of it too, but for those of you that are wrestling fans, Jessica, if you're watching, I'm speaking to you, some of the wrestlers that he would have been wrestling and probably would have had 5-star matches with, if there's no such thing as a 6-star, but
because the way he was so athletically talented too, like he did everything.
Super. He would have wrestled the likes of Kurt Angle, Edge and Christian, I should say, and then Eddie Guerrero. I don't want to mention the other Canadian wrestler who killed his family, but he would have wrestled him too.
I mean, you can mention Benoit. It's fine. What is YouTube gonna do? Come on.
Right. Banned. But then also, I mean, you think about like all the other people he could have wrestled with, but those ones in particular, he would have had at least 5-star matches with. And I think Rey Mysterio came around that time too, he would have been in a battle with Rey Mysterio too. And then you imagine the Blue Blazer versus Rey Mysterio.
Oh, that would have been
super fun.
Yeah, another 5-star for sure.
Yeah, but it's just a lot of what ifs, unfortunately. I'm actually really happy that originally, and this is not anything that I wanted to see, but I never saw the Over the Edge pay-per-view and how he fell. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm probably not gonna be able to see this because it's probably banned on every single video on YouTube.
It's probably it is banned.
But it's like,
because I tried finding it a long time ago. It's banned.
I've always wondered, did he go straight on his head, or did he whiplash with his head, going just falling down? But he figured if you're on the harness and you're facing head up and it snaps, you're probably gonna end up. He probably hit the ropes and flipped and hit his head, more than likely. So I mean, I'm really glad I didn't get to see, because probably he landed in such a way you're like, you can't get that image out of your head. Honestly, I can only imagine the people that were in attendance that saw that live, the traumatizing image that maybe even some kids saw of him falling from that.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine if you were like a younger child just going to one of these events and having to see that happen. I would be traumatized for a really long time. Like my depression, anxiety would just kick in when you get older. Yeah, that's like and even McMahon didn't really care about what the fans how they got traumatized over it too.
Yeah,
that's what I noticed there. Also,
people don't like McMahon.
Oh yeah. Even as
he treats the guy like the Undertaker, of course, the legend that he is, like gold, and almost like a brother to him. But then when it comes to a guy like Owen Hart, who is from the Hart family, who produced quite a few and still have produced quite a few legends in the business, Stu, Brett, Owen himself. I'll say it. He's a legend. Natalya has made her mark in the women's division right now. Currently, Jim the Animal Neidhart was a Hall of Famer. I mean, come on, the list goes on. It's just disappointing how he's basically, for lack of a better term, basically shit on the Hart family. He screwed Brett. He didn't give a rat's a when Owen Hart died. So it's like, damn, dude.
And you can tell that all the other superstars cared too.
Yeah, a lot of them. D'Lo Brown's face said it all. Even Godfather, who was supposed to wrestle him that night, he was like, "What? Like, what just happened?" Like, he was floored. Everybody was running to see if he was okay.
And even all the superstars. I think, how many people were at his funeral? I think it was
quite a few. The Rock, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, a lot of the guys were
even
there.
At least in the thousands were at his funeral too.
The whole entire area in Canada where he was having his funeral literally cleared the streets. You thought he was like the president of the United States who died. That's how impactful he was to Canada. Sure.
Yeah, 100%, exactly. So, real quick here, some MLB news here. Matt's excited for this one. So I think we were talking. I just had to get that in there. So Major League Baseball. I think we were talking about this, last week. So Major League Baseball and the Players Union are currently in talks concerning a plan to return to play for the 2020 season, and an agreement could be struck this week. So MLB was supposed to hold opening day, obviously, like I said, 2 months ago, but the spread of the coronavirus forced the league to suspend operations on March 12th in the middle of spring training. Now the league and Players Association are trying to come onto the agreement for a shortened season. The two sides began talking nearly 2 weeks ago, so they've been in talks for a couple weeks now. So a condensed campaign would likely start in July 4th, because I think that's the latest one they'll start is July 4th. We'll have an expanded playoff format and a feature of long list of safety protocols for both MLB players and team personnel. So we would be looking at an 82-game regional schedule and a universal DH for both the American League and National League. And me personally, I'm not huge on the DH for a National League fan. I'll explain that here in a little bit. But 30-man active rosters with a 20-player taxi squad, 14 teams in the postseason with games played in home cities in October, and a 50-50 revenue split for players and owners. And I can tell you this right now, I am not a huge fan of the DH on the National League, because I think it just kind of defeats the purpose of having the pitcher, go to bat and just to get the having to play a roll up there's the leadoff man's on first. I don't know. That's just me though. That's why I'm a National League fan. I might be kind of a homer saying this, but I don't know. Matt, you might have a different opinion more than I do on the DH, but I will hear it from you anyway. So, since you're an American League fan, so
yeah,
I'll give it to you.
I'm not really in favor of it. I mean, that's what differentiates the league from each other. I mean, that's the biggest thing that's special is that. The DH was mainly an AL thing originally, and now they're trying to push the agenda to have a double DH, basically. 2 DHs, one in each league. And it's just, I'm not really in favor of that. It what brings a unique aspect to the game. Strategically, when National League teams come to the American League side and their home field, they have to do a DH. Then also it's a great strategically chess match for the NL, because now the AL has to think like the AL has to think like the NL team and have their pitcher hit. I mean,
Yeah.
David Price for your Dodgers, he actually is super stoked to play in LA because he gets to play as a batter now, and now he's going to have that dream shattered with this potential rule change. But I think the biggest underlining thing that I think a lot of people are not focusing on is that this is really crucial. It's not just because of the coronavirus that the trust issue is the biggest thing.
Oh yeah, between the players and the owners and the staff.
Yeah, it will, because if there's an erosion of trust in the recent years among the leaders in both sides, if it's poisoned and polluted, basically, for lack of a better term, then this is going to crush the negotiations when it comes to the collective bargaining agreement. Because if they come, let's just say they get the season going, but then there's that trust issue was basically destroyed between them and the CBA or the players union. When the CBA comes up, they're going to play hardball like nobody's business. They're going to keep bringing up, well, remember when the coronavirus pandemic was happening? You guys were busting our chops then. So how about this? We're going to sit there, we're going to stomp our feet down, put our foot down, going, nope, we ain't talking at the table. Suspend the season. That could drastically kill the future of baseball.
Oh yeah.
If they don't play this carefully. Like, they have to really, really play carefully with this. And for me as a baseball fan, I would rather them...
It makes a lot of us nervous as baseball fans. It's not just you, but baseball fans all over America.
If they can't essentially smooch the hands of the players union just to get past this little trust issue, I'd rather miss an entire season of baseball than lose an entire who knows how many years of baseball because they just can't agree to another CBA because of pride and arrogance of trying to get a Russia season in. But on the other end of the spectrum, I am excited that they're at least talking about potential things this season. I mean, even them and hockey have been the most proactive with what they want to do. Actually, I think the NBA is trying to do this too, but they're trying to push the agenda of getting the season started. I mean, hockey's was pretty cool as well, but I'll digress on that some other time when we're on a different topic. But
well, yeah. Speaking of different sports, though, you were just mentioning that. Just can you imagine all these sports starting up at the same time, like hockey, basketball, and baseball, continuing their season, how is the NBA gonna work though?
I think my sports brain just had an orgasm.
Yeah, no, my brain just exploded just thinking about that because if it was the NBA season right now, we would be looking at a potential Western Conference Finals, an Eastern Conference Finals. We would have obviously that's where at the point we're at right now. We're getting kind of close to June, towards NBA Finals month, and obviously the season got stopped way before the playoffs started. I would say maybe a week or so, maybe 2 weeks, somewhere around there.
There were a lot of teams on the bubble too.
Yeah, it just really hit me though that you might see a continuation of the actual NBA season before the playoffs start. You could see the playoffs go right before the next season starts, to October.
Without fans, possibly too.
Yeah, I was gonna say without fans also. So that would be
crazy.
That's even with hockey too. How are they gonna do it? And the only thing I know, wrestling's been doing obviously their thing without an audience, but I'm just kind of concerned for everybody else's well-being though. With the whole Seth Rollins Becky Lynch thing, they're expecting a child. You think they would take? I think didn't Seth Rollins also take time off also? If I remember,
he's kind of staying more of a managerial role. He's been kind of doing this role as the Messiah role. Mm-hmm. But he's kind of taking a backseat a little bit. I think he's trying to lessen his contact with individuals. Mm-hmm. So he's kind of turning into more of a Paul Heyman guy, temporarily. Kind of put over young talent that just came in. Austin Theory's a new guy that came in, and they're kind of writing a story with him being brought up by Seth Rollins' tutelage to become a star or whatever.
I got you.
But yeah, I like you were mentioning the hockey's proposal for their playoff thing. I kind of like the uniqueness of what they propose. It's new. It's kind of, a lot of the fan base, I know for a fact with, just right off the bat, I know that when the Edmonton fans are not happy to see the potential. They said if they restarted the season, what they would do is they would do right into a playoff format, but instead of being a 1-8 or the wild card format they've been doing for at least 5 years. They would do they could do all top 12 each conference. So the top 4 teams in each conference, Western and Eastern, would get a bye and then the remainings would face off against each other. And I kind of like that. That's because a lot of the teams that were on the bubble, they're like, oh crap, we're not going to make it now. They now have made it because they were busting their asses to get to that point. So guys like
100%.
The one I would really look forward to is Edmonton and Chicago, because Chicago, as you know, they're always a pain in the ass in the playoffs.
Well, Chicago's always a hockey town. Same with Detroit too. They're always going to be a pain in the ass. There's no way around it. But I absolutely agree. So going into the questions, or question rather, we actually did have a question on Twitter. Mountain Guy 3535 wants to know, what is your ideal dream NBA Finals matchup? And you can pick any team from any year and have them go up against each other. And I think Matt, you were actually it's kind of funny because Matt, you were actually mentioning this like as a topic, you know, I would say a couple weeks ago actually, which is, like I said, it's kind of ironic that he actually brought it up, but I'm going to be kind of a homer and kind of say this. I would say the three-peat Lakers for 2000, 2001, 2002 versus the Warriors of the 10s. I would say with Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and Klay Thompson. Put those two teams in their all those players in their prime together. Play a 7-game series. That's what I would think, honestly. But yeah, Lakers versus. Actually, no. But then again, that's more of a. They're on the same side. They were on the same side though, but everybody was saying like Lakers of the 2000s. Or that would be more of a Western Conference Finals to be exact. Like I know it wasn't the answer to the question, but I would have them go up against each other the Western Conference Finals, but play a 7-game series. Like I said, I stand corrected on that. They play in the own conference. I apologize for that, but. Everybody's saying, the Lakers and the Bulls, but I want to think of a different team, though, that was a certain dynasty, like, even way back when. Apart from, the Bulls of Chicago, like during the Michael Jordan days, but,
Celtics?
I would probably say, something to do, Lakers, Celtics, the Celtics of the 80s versus the Lakers of the 2000s, 2001, 2002. That would be something I would like to watch. Like, all those players in their prime. Like, put them all together and just have a 7-game series. That's just me, though.
Your boy Shaq Bird back on the court.
Yeah.
Just
white man can't jump.
Big Bird.
You get to play the old school legends when they're old.
God. I think, honestly, your buddy Shaq actually made a... he was actually on having this kind of question. I think it was an older question, but I think it was a tweet before that he put out there, and he couldn't believe his ears. I think everybody's ears were burning when they heard this. Like the guy on the ESPN show, I think it was First Take. I think he was maybe he was filling in for the usual Stephen A. Smith. Mm-hmm. But his question was for that particular one. I'll get back to your question too. But real quick, he was saying, do you think that? I believe it was, do you think the Warriors, that Dynasty Warriors team, would beat the 90s Chicago Bulls dynasty, the six-time champion Chicago Bulls dynasty? Mm-hmm. He, without even hesitation, said, yep, they would absolutely just destroy them. And Shaq's he's putting his hand in his ears like, what? Like, are you freaking serious? He's like,
are you serious, man?
He's like, yeah. He's like, go position. He said, go position by position. And he's like, you think he'd beat him in any era, in the big boy era? He's like, yep, absolutely. And Shaq's just looking at him going, you gotta be shitting me. What kind of a face? The Warriors wouldn't survive in the big boy era. Draymond probably could, but the other guys, no, not so much. But
they would live or die by the 3, basically. Yeah, I think
you gotta look at that video. You got to see Shaq's reaction. That's why they weren't a team
back then.
I think to me though, if it was like me saying this, I think the Bulls would have I think they would have wanted 5 at most.
The Bulls games would absolutely annihilate them, especially considering the fact that,
maybe the Warriors could get 1 game in there, and that's like a big if.
Maybe.
Yeah. If the top players on the Bulls were sick.
Yeah, even Michael, whenever Michael was sick, he'll put up like 47 and he's sick. Just a guy's a freaking legend. The GOAT of basketball, man.
Him, Pippen.
Mm-hmm. You know what's unique that Scotty said on an interview with on ESPN, saying that Michael was such almost like a 5-tool basketball player, but he excelled in the ability that he was asked to excel in, which was scoring. And he could be a great defender. He was an excellent defender. I mean, hell, you saw the finals that he had against the Jazz in the last 20 seconds. He stole the ball from Malone and went right down court and just controlled the tempo. But Scotty said he was asked to be the guy who was the scorer. I was the wingman to him. I was the one I scored with him too. I'll take the outside jumper if you need to. I'll thrash to the hoop. I mean, but he was asked to excel at scoring. Whereas Dennis was the man who was down low, picking up the trash, knocking people on their asses, causing people to get pissed off to fight him. I mean,
he had the mouth.
Yeah, he was the one who was always start picking fights. So
just watch the Last Dance documentary. That'll definitely show you what he was like.
If you actually pay attention to the sports during the 90s, even, I want to say the exception may be baseball, but every other sport had the fighter.
Yep. Oh,
they were the
Pistons
designated
too.
Fighter.
The Pistons too, man. There's,
oh yeah.
Well, they're the hockey version of the enforcer.
Well, even
old school hockey always had enforcers that started fights.
Because even if you know,
Ron Artest back when he was on the Pacers.
Certain players.
Yeah.
Because even if you notice, like football during that time where they had fights, it was always the same players for each team were always in the fight. And as I got older, I realized that the teams had designated fighters, so the entire team didn't get thrown out for doing something.
But yeah, nowadays people just get
baseball,
thrown
they
out.
didn't have a designated fighter.
Well, yeah, but then nowadays when people start designated fights, they just get suspended, immediately. No ifs, ands, or buts. But
well, that's because they're safer. Bullshit.
But anything else you guys want to add?
I would think that with regards to that question, oh God,
in
regards to your question though, to answer it, honestly, I would like to see the 2002, even though I still think the Kings should have been in the finals, those Lakers going head to head with the Bulls. I would love to see that. I mean, you look at from top to bottom in the starting five, that's an entertaining matchup in itself. Kobe in his prime, Shaq in his prime, Michael Jordan is always in his prime, seems like.
Scottie Pippen in his prime.
I would love to see Dennis battling down low with Shaq and Robert Ory. Especially Shaq.
Oh.
Shaq and him would knock people on their asses just to see those two go head to head. I mean, Rodman is outsized by him and outmuscled by Shaq, but I think he would put up a good fighting on him. He would actually slug Shaq, I think. I think he really would. Vladdy took the beating down below and so did Scott Pollard, but I swear to God, Dennis would not take it.
Oh yeah,
he would sit.
100%.
The Worm would be like, "Okay, Shaq, you want if we play rough? Let's play dirty, man." Then seeing Michael versus Kobe, the two greatest scorers I think I've seen in my lifetime, honestly. Then seeing I thought for sure, I can't believe I thought this before, but I could have swore Robert Ory was a Bull, but he was not. But
No,
seeing guys
he wasn't.
the role players like Steve Kerr and Robert Ory, the guys who were given the ball in certain clutch situations to help the Bulls and Lakers win. I mean, just top to bottom, even their bench too. I'd love pay to see those guys go head to head. That would be a dream matchup to see. Other than obviously, we're talking about teams that actually won a championship. Because if it was the Kings won a championship, I'd say my Kings selfishly versus the Bulls. Honestly, I still think the Bulls would crush my Kings if they faced them that year.
It'll be a four-game sweep.
The Kings were
100%.
They were. Shut up, Kyle. Well, the Kings were 60 and 19 that year. That was the best record they've ever had in their franchise. But I mean, even with the team they had, I think the Bulls would have absolutely annihilated them. Weber versus Rodman would be pretty fun to see. Yeah, just seeing Michael and probably I don't think there really is a comparison.
I think Michael would win against Peja for sure.
I think Peja mainly would be Scotty's person. Scotty and Peja. I think Doug Christie defending Michael would be unique to see because Christie was an excelling defender back in his time. He was an excellent defender. That was one of his bread and butter abilities. Was able to just take a beating and keep stealing the ball from people. He was a freaking thief, man. But yeah, just thinking about it right now, I think the Bulls would absolutely annihilate them. I would say 5 games. I don't think the Kings would get swept by the Bulls, but they wouldn't beat them. I know that much. But yeah, your Lakers of 2002 versus the Bulls of the 90s. I would love to see that.
Okay, solid. We've hit the 1:30 mark. Yeah, we were way past the time here, but that's okay though, because I know Penguin had that long intro right at the beginning. But yeah, on that note, thank you guys so much for tuning in to episode number 10 of the Reboot. And if you guys want to catch the on-demand episode, if you guys did miss it on Twitch, you guys know where to find me on YouTube. YouTube.com/The Kyle Lodi Show. Nightbot already promoted it in the chat, so if you guys want to go subscribe, if you haven't already, definitely go do that. And as always, for Matt and Penguin, so you guys have anything else to say before we head out?
You remember when I was talking about AEW doing that whole like fake crowd thing? I think WWE's finally started to catch up. They actually have a semi-crowd of the crew. They're cheering the wrestlers on. How funny is that?
Well, there you go. So
there it is, Jack.
You're a bit late on that, but you know what? It whatever works. But on that note, I'm Kyle the Pug. I will see you guys next time on the podcast, and I will be little fourth wall break also. We'll be live streaming tomorrow. We're going to do Horizon Draka Easter eggs, probably like, I would say around 2-ish, somewhere around there. So be on the lookout. Be on the lookout for that also. So again, love you guys, and I'll see you later. Thank you for tuning in. #PugBark. Okay, bye!